Dude, we should both do that. It's a good idea. All right. Kurt versus Tillman.
Is this like a fist fight? Virtual fist fight?
I hope not. I feel like you're probably stronger than I am. I don't know.
You're pretty. So, you run pretty fast.
I know. I mean, different strengths. You know what I mean? That's why we make a better team than enemies, Kurt.
That's true. That's very true.
That's
very
right.
True. Very true.
So, happy Memorial Day, one and all.
Absolutely.
Let's see. So, the big question, the question of the hour, Kurt. We did a little test live stream together a few days ago. It went okay. This one I think looks a little better.
I think so too.
But we want to ask, just to open it up, we want to ask the question, is artificial intelligence good or evil? Are you pro or are you con? What is your opinion? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're feeling feisty and want some extra gold stars, like, tell us why, right? Why do you think AI is good? Why do you think AI is evil as in the greater world and or in a marketing context, right? So to kick it off, like, Kurt, I know you are working on this class you just taught, and you had a bunch of people sign up to learn about how to create awesome content with AI. And didn't you say you had over 50 content enhancing tools?
Yep. Kind of just like this. I mean, this room right here was made through an AI image earlier today. So long story short is, I've been in marketing almost, I think 15, 16, 17 years. I got to do the math in my head or whatever. And at the end of the day, I mean, Tillman, you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. But I know when I first got started, 15, 16 years ago, people always said content's king. And it literally happens over and over and over. People keep saying the same thing, right? Content is absolutely king. Well, the problem is it's almost kind of like, in my opinion, is almost kind of like being a starving artist, meaning there's some people out there that just have really good natural content and they just crush it, right? And you have friends that have been in this niche as well too, right? That they write so pretty and their images are so great or their posts are so long on social media, people are just attracted to them over and over. There's some people out there that's kind of like the starving artist where you can create some content, but like there's not a consistent system to do it and requires some contractors or employees or a lot of discipline and consistency. Well, now with the AI tools, I mean, we came up and we ended up doing a 6.5-hour webinar where we showcased 50 tools that we're working with inside of our ad agency and for marketing. Now, Tillman, you and I can create content like this. All of a sudden we do content like this. It's a half an hour. There's different software out there that will change this into a blog post, that will change it into a 1-minute clips, 15-second clips. It can turn it into small little memes. We can schedule the content out. So now our artistic ability isn't like, hey, can I draw or do I have a whole lot of time to edit these videos? It now comes down to how often can you consistently record content and use some of these tools to edit, even out the process, do the procedures. And I don't think it's going to it will replace jobs for people who are very transactional. Creative people like ourselves here, oh my goodness, like Tillman, with the way that you like to do like characters and the way that you like to do mascots, like sky's the limit here. So I am personally very excited because I'm a creative type and I think we're just absolutely going to excel in this area, in my opinion.
Okay, so check this out. So I mentioned on our last live stream that like I've been resistant to AI, and it's a weird thing because I'm into the future. I'm into new technology. I like cutting edge stuff, generally speaking, but I've had this vibe that AI in all areas, certainly of marketing, but I really feel of the world, the downside is like, it's going to make everything really robotic. It's going to take the heart and soul out of so much of the communication between people. It's almost like AI by nature is going to create a bigger distance between people because of the amount of noise that people are going to be churning out, right? So when you get someone who doesn't have much creative vision or doesn't have much inspiration or doesn't really have something to say, but they can make a 5,000 word essay by writing a sentence into ChatGPT. That's noise, right? That's not
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
it's not really going to improve anybody's life, right? And it's
We,
certainly, what's that?
we also don't know if it's the other way too, is where it helps people communicate more because they didn't have a voice, just like you were articulating before.
Well, you couldn't have, I don't believe, painted the painting behind you.
No,
Not in a
no.
year, or you
Now,
know, like you don't have those kind of skills, right? And
but
so,
pictures like this can be printed on canvas now and sold for a couple of $100 or $1,000, literally by putting in prompts. I wouldn't even know how to describe this, but by 7
right,
words, I can come up with a room like this.
right. So what does that mean, right? So here's what I think it means, and here's my question for you, Kurt. So I've been thinking about this for the last several days since our last live stream, and I was watching the new Muppets show on Disney Plus, and it's awesome. It's Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, and it's a whole season of Dr. Teeth and Animal and all the Electric Mayhem, the band, and they did it just like the old style Muppets. It's hilarious. It's wicked good. And Jim Henson has always been not always, but I guess he's like, I've always loved the Muppets. And at some point in my work with mascots, I realized, you got Walt Disney, you got Jim Henson, you got Stan Lee, you got these individuals that created thousands of amazingly successful characters out there in the world that weren't human. Okay, that developed personalities, they developed a following, they developed a fan base, like Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, like Kermit the Frog, like Miss Piggy, etc. And nobody, I mean, other than the fact that Jim Henson was the mastermind behind them all, and he's no longer living, I might add, similar to Walt Disney, right? That nobody knows who's behind the puppet. The puppet has its own personality. The puppet has its own thing, because the creators put the juice into crafting a magnetic, interesting, engaging, living personality that didn't need to pass as a human. And so I was like, okay, so as a puppeteer, as a puppet master, as a creator of fictional characters, all of these AI tools become they become like a paintbrush, right? They become a highly sophisticated paintbrush. And so as creators learn how to use them and fine tune them, I think we're going to be able to create things that are just like outside of the possible scope and at speeds that we have never been able to possibly create before.
So like, perfect example, right? You can go to Midjourney to create images, and you can start typing in some certain words for mascots. Now, what I've done over on Midjourney is I would start to kind of dream about, like, what would my mascot look like? And I'm going to type in all these different words, and you can put in camera angles and lighting and all this different stuff. And you can literally play with it for hours, right? Hours and on hours. I found an additional tool called, there's Joshua B. Lee. It's good to see you.
Joshua, do you want to join us, dude? If you do, let me know, and I will give you a link to. I'm just gonna give you a link to join us.
I think he's in Mexico City with his wife right now.
Oh well, so maybe
we'll see.
maybe
I'm pretty sure he's uploading fancy pictures. So Tom, I'll let Josh respond back to you. But essentially, what ends up happening is I use a plugin for Midjourney called Effortless Midjourney. So Effortless Midjourney, essentially what happens is I'll type in a line. It will give me 5 different variations for really good prompts that I can put in Effortless Midjourney. So now what ends up basically happening, Telman, is this. I could spend a whole lot of time in Midjourney to try to come up with this great mascot. Effortless Midjourney helps me get there even a lot faster. There's another thing that I love, Telman, called Prompt Base. And Prompt Base, essentially, these are prompts that are already created by people that are selling you these prompts for $3 to $5. So you can type in cartoons and mascots, and literally it will pull up things that already look like mascots. So you can copy and paste the prompt that's already been working for someone else, slightly change it. So instead of like spending hours in Midjourney or Effortless Midjourney, cutting down the hours, but still spending a bunch of time with reiteration, there's a lot of people who are selling their prompts out there that you can say, this is 90% of what I want, copy, paste, $4, make a couple of little adjustments, within 30 or 40 minutes, you're going to have an image of pretty much exactly what you were looking for. Realistic, cartoon, Pixar looking, list goes on and on and on. It's great.
Dude. So okay, check this out. So I've had this funny idea. When I first got into futurism and was like first learning from Peter Diamandis and like some of this kind of and Ray Kurzweil, and read those books like a decade or so ago. I was like, how do I live forever, right? I'm going to upload my consciousness to an AI, and I'm going to create the Telmandroid. And this funny like sci-fi idea of creating artificial intelligence version of myself that I thought would never actually happen. And I joke, and it's a play on Tellman. It's a Tellman pun, right? The Telmandroid. And what I'm real, and then all this mascot stuff has happened, and I've created hundreds of mascots for different companies and all this stuff in email form only. And then I've been thinking since we talked, and I was thinking about the Muppets, about the AI tools. So I want to ask you some questions and just brainstorm with you about this idea.
Yeah.
Guys, if you want to get more information on how to use AI tools to supercharge your marketing, then go ahead and type Telmandroid in the comments below. And Kurt, you just did
a long word.
Tellmandroid, Telmandroid. You can spell it a bunch of different ways, and we'll give you credit.
Doesn't matter how you spell it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But Kurt, you just did this awesome class, this master class on how to create content with AI, but it's not available for sale anymore. So if you guys are interested in following up and learning about that when it goes up for sale or whatever the next thing is, then type Telmandroid if you want to stay looped into the conversation. So here's my question, Kurt. The idea is, so think Jim Henson, think Stan Lee, think Walt Disney.
This is a great prompt, by the way. So keep going. We can literally just type this in directly.
These guys are legendary creators of iconic characters. Yeah. Okay, and they came up at particular points in time. They come up with home run after. Oh, Joshua Lee! Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
International call now. We are now in an international call, and he's like, did she go outside the room for just a minute and then allowed you to jump on your phone and hang out with a bunch of geeky marketing guys?
I'm in Mexico City, so I wanted to make sure you sent me the link, Tellman, so I had to jump in real quick.
Good job, Tellman. Good job, Tellman.
Dude, Joshua, are you pro or con AI? Is it good or is it evil?
Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, especially what LinkedIn's doing with AI, I'm 100% pro. I mean, Microsoft invested $10 billion into OpenAI, and what they're doing on LinkedIn is insane. Where they're going to be able to go, I mean, it was already highly indexed by Google. They're going to be indexing the hell out of LinkedIn for OpenAI via using LinkedIn, all the things. The same thing that Elon's doing with Twitter. Like, he didn't buy Twitter, right? For Twitter, he bought it to be able to index the human engagement, and that's what they're going to be doing over there. So 100% pro, y'all.
That's great.
Pro, y'all. All right, robots for the win.
Doesn't Microsoft own LinkedIn now?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's why they're able to leverage that investment. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I mean, let's be honest, y'all. It's not robots for the win, Tellman. It's humans leveraging robots for the win.
For now, robots controlling the humans.
So, Joshua B. Lee, have you heard of Merlin, the app Merlin?
Yeah.
So, Tellman, I've been using Merlin basically to go to YouTube, click on a button to hit summary. It summarizes everything in the YouTube. Now, Merlin also works on LinkedIn and Twitter. So if Josh comments about his post or talks about being in Mexico City, I can literally hit a button. And this is what Josh really teaches, like, just to make more of a human connection. You hit this little button and it will reply back in either, a funny way, a relatable way, or there's one other way too. So literally what social market, Josh, you've been teaching this for years, but what lots of social media platforms are saying, go and comment on other influencers' posts, like say something actually meaningful. It's almost like building social backlinks. So this little button, Josh will write a long post, you hit a little button, it will write us 3 or 4 sentences that relate to the post. Then you just hit enter.
Dude, I did that for the last. I use Jasper instead of Merlin for the last just month and a half, doing that to some of the biggest influencers out there. I've gained another 15,000 followers on LinkedIn just in the last month and a half of actually people that are engaging and going through it. And it's really just writing the right prompts, right? Merlin's there to be able to do that well. If you don't do that, making sure you understand the right prompts, being able to go through, hey, I want to respond in a conversational way, funny, you know, and being able to make sure it's shorter than 2 sentences, dude, it's powerful. And I mean, that's the best way for, I mean, I just did a training like last week, and that was one of the biggest takeaways I wanted everyone to take. I said, look, go through, take 5 minutes, do 10 comments every single day. I guarantee you it will blow up your visibility.
Yep.
Boom.
Huge.
Awesome.
TikTok said it was a huge trend last year. So
yeah,
it's great. When you come back into town, Mr. Joshua B. Lee, I want to compare tacos from Mexico City to tacos in Austin.
Well, this evening, and you know, Rachel just yelled at me actually at breakfast, and that's why I jumped on, because she goes, "Why haven't you seen Kurt in a while? You better show up at his house later this week with tacos, or else."
We'll do that.
And
We'll do
All
that.
right, that's great.
You
That's,
hang out, meet baby girl.
That's a sign of a really good relationship right there. Like, good.
here we go. But yeah, guys, I mean, I appreciate what y'all are adding. I wanted to be able to jump on and say hi. I miss both y'all, and I mean,
Miss
like,
too.
look, this is what AI is doing, what Kurt you're doing. I mean, Tillman, I can't even imagine. I've seen some of what you're doing, but I mean, it's just. And I'll tell you all this. I don't know if we've actually talked about this. I was just reading a news report the other day. Do you realize just in the States, right? When you look at, you know, we talk about, we're in a bubble, right? We talk about AI a lot. We're going through, but I think what it said is like only 54% of Americans know of AI, right?
Oh, right.
And only 14% of them are actually leveraging it on a daily basis. So we're like, oh my God, AI is everywhere.
Right. But
It
no.
It's our
is
small little
everywhere.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, it's and Rachel and I were just having at breakfast. We were talking. She goes, "Well, so what's the difference, Josh? You were around, basically calling me old, around the .com
True.
boom,
Yeah.
you know."
Yeah.
And she goes,
Yeah.
"What's the difference between the .com boom and the AI revolution? Like what?" And so it's, of course, I just went to ChatGPT and asked it, but
Well, what's interesting is long story short, is from what I've understood from my reading, when I was in the .com boom as well too. I mean, Josh, you had some great businesses there that
yeah,
imploded, exploded, grew, all that other stuff. Is when the .com era hit, these are lots of different websites, lots of different ideas. Nobody actually knew which ideas would work. So that's why you have like Pets.com and a bunch of others go
Right.
out of business. Now what we have today is the AI, like especially ChatGPT. You know, GPT's been around for a long while, really a couple of years. It's taking a universal language of all these different sites and now combine them together. So now for me is I go to ChatGPT and I look up recipes, or like you said, is, hey, I want to know about like adoption rates. 100 million users joined ChatGPT in under 10 days.
right.
100 million. It took Facebook like 2.5 years to do that. 100 million users. So we are now
Well,
able
and
to
they're
access
over
information at
a
faster speed.
billion. There's over a billion now. I think last time I looked, this was a couple weeks ago, but it was 1.3 billion active. Now they're not active users, but they're actually, you know, at least registered users. Yeah.
And,
I mean,
and we're all
like no
teaching
other
the AI to
platform.
learn more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's going to get better and better. We
You
got a
guys
lot to talk about over the next couple of weeks.
You guys remember the Borg, right?
Oh yeah.
The what?
He's going Star Trek on us.
we're all rushing to the Borg like flies, like moths to the flame. No, it's super powerful. It's super awesome. I totally agree. It's fascinating, how incredible it is, how powerful it is, how tempting it is, how many things we can do with it. I'm excited to see the dark side.
Well, I mean, this is that whole thing. I was here at a
Slippery
wedding.
slope.
Right? I was here at a wedding, and like we're talking to people, and yeah, they've heard about it, but yeah, like most of the people at this wedding, because they're not in our usual circles,
Right?
they're not leveraging on a daily basis. Like if I hang out with y'all, we're like, okay, we're going to talk about AI, go through all the things. Up there's Rachel in the background.
There's Rachel. I saw Rachel. Hi, Rachel. She's like, who am I waving to? What are you doing?
Tillman
What
and
are you
Kurt
doing?
on Facebook Live.
Who?
Tillman and Kurt on
Hello.
Facebook Live.
Hi.
Hello.
You're just talking
Hola.
about me, Kurt.
That's what I told him.
Yeah, that's what I heard. A little stockish, but that's fine. That's why I'm stalking you guys.
We're thinking about your baby. We want to see your baby.
Well, absolutely, we'll make that happen very soon. We'll share baby stories and baby tips. Got lots of great baby tips.
She's back, y'all. So I got to go. I got caught. So
Totally understand.
Enjoy
Run.
your Facebook conversation. Love y'all. Talk to you soon, guys.
See you guys. See you, buddy.
Bye.
All right, later. Tillman, it is about the 20-minute mark. I got to get running because of the holiday. I do want to talk about this more, but like you said, we did a 6.5 hour webinar featuring 50 different tools. And for me, I thought a lot of people knew about these tools and some of the simple prompts, but really what I found in these prompts with AI, I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. The older that I get, I just learn I have to ask better questions. And by asking some of these better questions, I didn't even realize what's possible at this point. This is why I'm so excited, happy to share tools. I know we're going to take this video and use AI to cut it up and repurpose it to blogs, 1-minute content, stuff like that. I'll show everybody else how we're doing that too. But Tilman, I love this conversation. I'm excited for the future, sir.
Likewise. More questions to come. All right, guys, if you want to find out more about marketing and AI, type Telmandroid into the comments. We'll loop you in as soon as is appropriate. We'll send you a link. And Kurt, we're aiming for Mondays, if nothing else, right? For future.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yep, we'll do like the same time, do it on Mondays, cut up the content, disperse it throughout the week, and do it all over again. It's going to get better and better each time.
Rock and roll. All right. Good seeing you. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. And, you decide. Do you want to let the Borg assimilate you or not? Maybe the answer is yes.
Really good. All right. See everybody. Take care. All right. Bye.